Welcome to Tackle Talk Live, a program full of insight and information related to bass tournaments with a primary focus on Sam Rayburn and Toledo Bend. A show dedicated to making you a better bass fisherman with one-on-one interviews with winning anglers. Your host, Kevin Jean, Territory Manager for Sportco Marketing, who's no stranger to tournament success. An avid angler who understands how to compete at a high level. Daiwa and Caymas Boats Pro Staffer, Steve Graff, a successful angler in his own right, who continues to pursue tournament-winning stringers. So, get ready to take notes from two knowledgeable anglers here on Tackle Talk Live. Here are your hosts, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Welcome to Tackle Talk Live. That's right. We got another edition. Hey, and I dressed up today. Look at this. I got my shirt on. Tackle Talk Live. We good to go, baby. We looking good. And I got the other man on the other end. Sport co-marketing manager, territory manager, Kevin Jean down there in South Louisiana. He's all dressed up. He got his polo on. He's looking good.
Businessman, Steve, businessman.
That's right. Got to look good. All right. Hey, Kev, we got a good show today. We got a great guest. Tell us about our Toledo Bend guide we got on the show today.
Yeah, Ryan Pinkston, Steve. Ryan comes on the show every year, gives us a fishing report. He's on the water every day. He's had a ton of trips the last couple months. Got trips booked for the rest of the month of March. Like he does a great job of really breaking down the lake and what's going on and conditions. And he stays around that mid-lake area. But Ryan, he lives the north part of the lake, but he fishes kind of the bridge and below some too. So he can give us a breakdown of the entire lake.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is perfect time. We had him on before the Despino tournament last year. That's why we plan to have him on again, because this biggest tournament of the year, the two biggest tournaments of the year coming up next couple of weeks on Toledo Bend. Despino this weekend, and then 2 weeks you got the Poche. So we need to break down what's going on Toledo Bend to get everybody ready that's coming to practice. A lot of guys might be the only couple weekends out of the year they fish, Steve.
That's right. That's right. If you've got a buddy and you got a bunch of buddies that are going to come fish that tournament this weekend, tell them to tune in. Text them, call them right now. Say, hey, you got to tune in to Tackle Talk Live. They're fixing to give some good information for Toledo Bend, how you guys can catch them this weekend over there at Toledo Bend. And Kevin, there's so many ways that you can still got fish on beds. You got fish still staging and pulling up. You got fish coming back out. I mean, good God, dude, you got every phase of fishing right now probably going on.
Yeah, and my biggest question, Steve, is what's the water like after this rain we've got? Yeah, and I know your area, the lake didn't get as much rain as was predicted, but above the lake got a good bit of rain. So we got a lot of rain coming down. I want to get some water clarity from Ryan. I really want to know what the water's doing and things like that. So
yeah, and we got our lake reports. Water's on the rise all throughout East Texas. All these Texas lakes are on the rise right now. So not major rise, but they are getting some water in them, and it's coming up slow. It's going to be slow rise, but anyway. Sam Rayburn, Kevin, it showed out a little bit for the Fishers of Men, Texas East Division, and once again, those guys, they did a good job over there.
No, they did. They caught him. Casey Burley with another win. What was he? What was it? 8 checks, 7 checks, Casey? We had him on after the big bass splash. Five checks. I couldn't remember what it was, but we had him on the show last year. Casey, now, I mean, not a stranger to the winner's circle. Steve, we also got some more cheating stuff going on, and this hits close to home.
Dude, I swear, man. And when you were president for V&M Baits, you used to run a tournament at Lake Fork, the V&M Baits tournament. I participated in it twice, and love those kind of events. Absolutely love them. It only takes one bad apple, dude, to kind of ruin it for everybody. And this guy is popular over there. A lot of people know this dude. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he actually guides on the lake.
I don't know that much, Steve. I don't know that much.
I saw a Facebook post last night by a couple of guys, and then but either way, I mean, it's sad to me that we've still got guys trying to put weights in fish. We're going to get to all that. We'll talk about that more in detail, kind of tell you exactly what happened, how he got caught. But anyway, Kevin, Red River. I put it in here.
18 pounds. It's Trey Abear, but it's
Trey Abear, and
it's Trey Abear.
That tells you all you need to know. If you know Trey Abear, he's an outstanding angler in this region. Does fishes very well. But just the fact that it took 18 pounds plus to win on Red River,
Yeah.
That's a good sign for me, and I'm glad to see that on Red River. I know I finished second last fall and third last fall in 2 events on Red River, and I had over 15 both days, which I was glad to see that for the fall. It took 15 plus to win. And but to take 18, I mean, now we're getting back to those 18 to 20 pound stringers, hopefully back on Red River. And I talked to a good friend of mine. He lost 1/7. He said lost it right at the boat. He about cried. He said, man, I biggest fish I've ever caught on Red River, he said, and or ever hooked.
And they're healthy looking fish. I saw a picture. It's the Die Hard Bass Club was on Red River this past weekend. I looked at some of the pictures, and they're good looking fish, like healthy fish.
That's exactly what my buddy Adrian James said, who fished that event. And he said, man, Graf, they are some beautiful fish.
Yeah.
He said they look so good and green and healthy. And so, of course, we all know we're just one big flood away again from Red River being a disaster area once again. But hopefully this spring, if we don't get more rain, Red River could be a great place to go fishing, because there's vegetation back in the river now in those backwater areas, and those bigger fish. The stocking program that they've been doing for the last 5 to 7 years is starting to show up. And so good job by the Red River Waterway Commission on that. Nick LeBrun, our good buddy Nick LeBrun. Nick did a great job, had a top 10 finish, and did a great job in the last few minutes on the knockout round, I believe. Mm-hmm. Caught a 5.2 in the last few minutes to put him in to the top 25. And but anyway, good job by Nick. And all right, that's about it. We're going to take a quick break. We'll talk about more of this other stuff when we come back later on after we do our interview with Toledo Bend guide Ryan Pinkston. We got Ryan coming on next. Stay tuned. We're going to recognize a few of our sponsors. You're watching Tackle Talk Live. We'll be right back.
A good marine dealer is hard to find, but a great dealer is even harder. But in Iowa, Louisiana, there's a marine dealer that falls into the great category, Power Implements Marine, South Louisiana's go-to dealer for all things related to the boating industry. A Minn Kota, Garmin, and Mercury dealer, guaranteeing you first-rate service in both sales and repair. A great selection of new and used boats to choose from, including Skeeter, G3, Ranger, Camus, and Go Devil. A knowledgeable staff that will treat you like family and are always willing to go the extra mile to ensure you walk out a happy customer. To see everything they have to offer, go to powerimplements.com or stop by 606 East Miller Street in Iowa, Louisiana. Plus, mention Tackle Talk Live and save $500 off a new or pre-owned boat, or $50 off your first service ticket. Toledo Health is a full-service primary and acute care clinic. Nurse practitioners Jarrett Rule and Melissa Vines bring quality health care that's needed and convenient to the area. Nothing is worse than being sick on your family or fishing getaway. Whether it's a stomach virus or a hook in the hand, Toledo Healthcare will try and meet all your health care needs. Appointments available and walk-ins are always welcome. So the next time you're feeling down at Toledo Bend, stop by Toledo Healthcare, located on Highway 6 just south of Toledo Town, or call 318-508-5323. Very few stores are a complete one-stop shop, but Cypress Knee Outdoors is such a place. A store within a store. Cypress Knee is located inside 3J's four-way. Whether you need gas, food, drinks, or bait and tackle, they have it. Cypress Knee Outdoors carries top-name fishing brands like Strike King, Sandtone, Spro, and V&M. Crappie jigs from Bobby Garland. Need hunting gear? They have it. Ammunition from rifle to shotgun shells. Deer scents from Buck Wild and Doe and Heat. Deer stands from Titan and feeders from T-Hanger. Cypress Knee has it all. Located off I-49, exit 127, just south of Natchitoches, Louisiana. So stop by Cypress Knee Outdoors and let John Abram and his staff show you everything they have to offer. Or give them a call at 318-238-HUNT. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graf.
Welcome back. This segment presented by the Lakes Insurance of Nacogdoches, Toledo Health Clinic, Cypress Knee Outdoors, Shimano, and Power Implements Marine, located right there in Iowa, Louisiana. And also, Lost Frontier Park on the Texas side of Toledo Bend, right there as soon as you cross Pendleton Bridge. And I'm telling you right now, that back under new management, or the old management has purchased that sucker, taking it back over. Chase Collins and family, they're doing a great job over there once again, trying to get that place back to where it was, and looking for a great place to stay. You don't have to look any further. Lost Frontier Park's got RV sites. They got great cabins, huge swimming pool, great restaurant, lakeside beach, bungalows, 3-boat launch ramp, plenty to do. So much more. This is a great place to stay. Plan your next getaway or to make reservations, you can call 409-404-9972. That's Lost Frontier Park, located on Carice Creek on the Texas side of Toledo Bend. So, and tell them Tackle Talk Live sent you real quick. Kevin, do we have our guest yet? If not, I'm going to go ahead and go over the results. Let's see here. Let's look at the Fishers of Men. Real quick, we'll go over this. This was at Sam Rayburn this past weekend. Cameron Roan and Casey Burley, as Kevin's already alluded to, they won this event. They had 5 fish for 28.82. And again, I think you have a choice. You can either be forward-facing sonar or non-forward-facing sonar. I don't know who did what. It doesn't specify on here. Chase Lindsay came in second. He had 5 fish for 28.2. Rowdy Slaughter and Holden Ashworth, they were third with 27.43. Ryan Emery, Parker Emery were fourth with 21.58. Fifth place was Mark Solomon, Caden Solomon. They had 21.08. They had a kicker, an 856 kicker. Sixth place was James Chandler and Cadero Rawls. They came in sixth with 20.85, and they had an 8.69 kicker, which I believe ended up being big bass for the event. Seventh place, Kelvin Jones, Brian Rowland. They had a 6.55 kicker. They had 20.48. Eighth place, Shane Fontenot and Trent Manuel. They were had 5 fish for 18.65. Ninth place, McGuire Parker, Nicholas Walsworth. They were ninth with 18.24, and rounding out the top 10, Ethan Howe and Evan Howe, the two brothers, former NSU anglers, and actually guys that Ethan, or one of them had won, I believe it was Evan, had won one of the events at Sam Rayburn recently. 10th, they came in 10th with 18.19. So that was the top 10 for the Fishers of Men.
All right, Steve, good deal. I think we got Ryan in. Ryan, can you hear us?
All right.
Yeah, I got you guys. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we are live. We got you here. We just came back from the break, was going over the fishermen results there on Sam Rayburn. You on the water?
We're on the water. Yes, we're fishing today. Got a couple of guys out here with me, and they're catching the crap out of them.
Well, that's what we like to hear.
Yeah, exactly.
Ryan, I appreciate you coming on with us, man. We have you on every year about this time of year. Big month for Toledo Bend. The two biggest tournaments of the whole year on Toledo Bend is this month. You got the Despino tournament this weekend, which I also think there's a BFL. Then in 2 weeks, you have the Poche tournament. So looking to try to get a fishing report from you, kind of give us a lake breakdown of what you're seeing and everything.
Yeah, the lake's fishing really good. I think y'all know that from looking at the weights the last few weeks. Very healthy. The fish, you know, if you remember the last year or so that we talked about, I mean, the fish are so healthy. They're so fat. They're full of shad. They look phenomenal. I spent a weekend helping the high school tournament last weekend over at Rayburn and looked at a lot of those fish, and they're just fish. You know, they like pond bass. They're so skinny. These fish over here are not that way. I mean, everybody that's been, I mean, they're catching tanks. So that's a good start. Fishing's been good. I mean, we're right in the thick of it right now. We've got still some pre-spawn. We've got some, of course, that are spawning, and we're catching some post-spawn fish. Really, a lot more of them have showed up this week. A few last week, but we're seeing a lot of post-spawn fish now. But as far as how healthy the lake is, it couldn't be any better. I mean, it really couldn't. I have fished. Probably a unique guide. I cover a lot of the lake, you know, Kevin. I fish the south end, fish the middle of the lake, and then fish up the lake a little bit. And I've caught fish from pretty much one end to the other this year.
Yeah.
That kind of takes me where my next question where I wanted to go. Is one end better right now, Ryan? Usually Toledo being 75 miles long, usually starts on the northern end and the spawn and progresses to the south end over 2 or 3 week difference. Is there a difference this year in one end or the other? And is one end or the other better than the other end right now?
Yeah, I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Yeah, it's just kind of, I'm from the north end, and that's where I grew up, and unfortunately, they're just not there anymore. Not this time of year anyway. We get our butts tore up in February and early March up there. The fish, I don't know where they go. They just haven't been there in many years, and so you got to graduate a little bit further down the lake, mid lake to south lake. The south end, and I hate to even say it, but I'll try to tell it how it is. It gets a lot of pressure because it's better. I mean, just generally, there's more fish down there. It's basically the only spot on the lake on the Texas side that has any amount of grass, and it is getting beat to death again this year. But the cool thing about it is there is so many fish on the south end. It replenishes really well. It really does. You can come up to the mid lake area, northern lake area, and you can get 3 or 4 boats, in a creek, and they hit it really hard one weekend, and then they'll fish it out. And they could, they almost fish it out for the week or maybe even for the month, if you know what I mean. What you'll see on the south end, there's 20 boats out there on that flat or in that pocket, and you can go right back the next day and catch them again. So to answer your question, Steve, it's a little bit, I would say it's definitely better on the south end.
Yeah. What about the mouth of Sammy Gill and those bushes out there at the front of Sammy Gill? Is there enough water on those right now, Ryan?
They're high and dry.
Yeah,
okay.
That's
what I figured.
Yeah.
I haven't been over.
Yeah, we're too
Yeah,
low
it's up
for
to
those.
it's up to the base of them. Yeah, and that's what you're going to see. So what we've got now is with the lake, basically 4 feet low. Fishing is still good, but it's concentrated a lot of the fish back in those ditches, which is an easy target. And so the last few weeks, that's basically what we've been doing. When we're not scoping, we're going back, and that's what we're doing this morning. We're working some ditches back in the back of the pockets and some spawning flat, and then we're catching them in some of the corners of the ditches, and then we're actually up on top of a flat. We saw some. You'll like this, Steve. They come up schooling on us this morning, and we were fishing this flat and plucking one off here and one off there. And then a whole pile of them came up schooling, and so we worked on them pretty good. Caught them actually up to just about 5 pounds.
Oh wow!
And so they were good schooling fish. And but that's kind of what we're doing. Like I say, when we're not scoping, we're doing that right now. One of the problems that you're running into on the south end that I've run into, and I've talked to some other anglers that are really good, what they're running into is the water is so clear.
Mm-hmm.
We've had no rain, and the fish are really, really spooky. They're already spooky with the boat traffic, but the fish are really spooky this year. It seems like a lot spookier than previous years, which there's a lot of traffic. The lake's fishing good. It's been this way since November, December, and then Rayburn is down. Excuse me. People don't feel real comfortable over at Rayburn a lot of times, and the fishing is not as strong. You go over there and catch a lot of fish. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to degrade the lake. You're just not going to catch the hammers that you're going to catch over here on Toledo. And so a lot of those guys are coming to Toledo, and I don't blame them just because it's fishing so good.
Yeah.
Ryan, so let's talk non-scope here, because the big tournaments we have coming up, and I say the big tournaments, it's the tournaments going to draw the two largest amount of entries the whole year.
Yeah.
I'm not degrading any other tournaments, but these two draw the biggest amounts. I mean, close to 300 boats each of them. And it's non-scope. So what is your best pattern technique bait-wise right now? I know you're in the drains, you're on top of the flats, but what's been your best bait technique that you've been using to catch the better fish?
So the better fish, besides today is kind of a unique deal that we.
When they come up schooling, that's a little bit different. That's
right.
Ryan Pinkston luck that all of us don't have.
Yes, true.
So we've been throwing about 3 different baits. So a bladed jig, and has been really good. And I've been throwing a square bill crankbait in the areas that don't have any grass, and so in that. Is even as shallow as 18 inches to out to, 4 to 5 feet, throwing those two baits, those have been catching the better fish. The third bait is just simply a fluke. I've been throwing a 6-cent flush and then switching over to a fluke. The color hasn't, the last week or so, I was on some pretty strong colors, kind of some green pumpkin colors the last couple of weeks. And then this week and the end of last week, it really didn't matter. Just throw it. And so we're throwing it weightless. We're throwing it on a split shot rig. And then we're also throwing it on a very light Carolina rig. Probably the most consistent way right now to catch your better fish is throwing the light Carolina rig. Fluke. It's been and there's some creature baits also. We're catching some on a lizard. Yesterday they really wanted the lizard, green pumpkin, magic, and black and blue. But the fluke has probably been the most consistent. Now, the thing about it is with the lower lake level, you can't go up there on the bank and you can't hit the laydowns, you can't hit the bushes and the cypress trees because they're all out of water. So you're going to have to back up. And they are on those flats, and where those drains run into those flats and stop, they're there. And any kind of stump or lay down out there, that's where they're on. You got to hit some of that hard target, that hard wood, because there's nothing else. Now, if you're down in the grass, that's different. But I'm talking about the rest of the lake. Besides, one small area of the lake, you're going to have to hit some structure like that. But those three baits is kind of what we've been rotating through. I will say this: the chatterbait / crankbait bite the last 3 or 4 days has slowed down. But the soft plastic bite has not slowed down one bit. The thing is, though, you're going to have to back up. Everybody's running up there to the dirt. And here's kind of your tip of the day, Kevin. Everybody's running up there to the dirt. And now, unless you're sight fishing, which that's taking place, and we'll get into that here in just a second, but everybody needs to be fishing back out a little bit more in that 4 to 8 foot of water. The lake is so clear. Those fish, they're not going up there to spawn. They're going to spawn out there in that 5 to 8 foot of water. I mean, you can see there's some pockets you can see the bottom in 5 foot, easy.
Well, another thing too, Ryan, that you may want to let anglers understand this: when you're fishing that kind of water and it's real clear, long casts can be very important to catching fish.
Absolutely.
You can't get right on top of them. And let me ask you this: what about white, like a white fluke? Is that good in that clear water? You need something more translucent right now.
We've been throwing more translucent. We've been throwing, your watermelons, your green pumpkins, the green pumpkin and watermelon magic, and then the green pumpkin and watermelon magic red have been the best 2 colors, I'd say, the last 3 or 4 days. Okay. And even in a lizard, that green pumpkin magic, which is a little bit darker, but it didn't really seem to matter. Now, when I'm coming up the lake, and I say up the lake, let's say around mid-lake area, still the black and blue. Green pumpkin's been fine, but the black and blue has stood out really strong this year. But to answer your question, no, I haven't even tried a white.
Yeah.
Ryan, from the rain we've got this past weekend, are you starting to see any color? Because we had Cole on last week. The guy catches 43 pounds, so we had Cole on.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy. Yeah. But after we finished talking about his 43 pounds, we just talked about fishing, and he was talking to us about how clear it was and everything. But after this rain that we've got some this week, are you starting to see it just a little bit? Because we got more rain coming tomorrow. Are you starting to see some color to the water?
No. I went into a pocket yesterday. No, not where I've been. I went into a pocket yesterday, which is a place that I fish. I'll probably go in there once a week and check it. And we went in there yesterday, and I don't know how this happened. It was actually clearer yesterday, and it's always kind of a dirty pocket where you can't see less than 8 inches to a foot, and it was actually clearer yesterday than it was last week. Now, how that happened, I have no idea, but no, I haven't seen it. It didn't have any effect. The lake did come up, it looks like about an inch, maybe an inch and a half, which didn't do any good. But it has not muddied up anywhere, nowhere that I've been.
Right.
What? Yeah, no, go ahead. You go ahead.
No, I was going to say one other thing. So back to the tournament this coming up.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
I think, okay, so talk about a little, if the weather holds off and things continue, your sight fishermen are going to have a really strong weekend.
Yeah.
If you're a sight fisherman and you like to do that, and you can do that if the cloud cover, which has been kind of cloudy, if the cloud cover will allow them to do it, and the pollen, the pollen's really bad right now.
Yeah.
If the pollen will allow them to do it, since there's no forward-facing sonar, the sight fishermen are going to be really hard to compete with.
Yeah.
This weekend.
Yeah, no, agreed. I think this weekend that is going to be now. After this weekend, I think it's going to be more of a post-spawn numbers. You're still, especially way down the south end. After this weekend, you'll still, there'll still be some very good bags caught sight fishing. You're just not going to have as many. I think this weekend, the majority of the top 10 will be sight fishing. What do you think about that?
I think you're exactly right.
Yeah.
There are some guys that'll be fishing this weekend that fished last weekend, and people may not know this, and I'm definitely not going to say their name, but there were some guys in the top 10 last weekend that were not scoping.
Yes.
A lot of people think
I know exactly
that all of those big, what I'm saying? A lot of people think those 25 to 34 pound bags were all scoping. Now, some of them weren't, but there's a handful of those guys that were just fishing, and they weren't sight fishing. They were just fishing for, staging fish and things like that. And I know a couple of those teams are fishing this weekend, and there would definitely be somebody, to watch out for. So basically what that tells you is you can do a little bit of anything right now.
Yes.
But back to what we were saying, as far as just catching fish, if people just want to go catch some nice fish, those three techniques I was telling you about are going to work. Just don't get too tight to the bank,
Now, Ryan, like you kind of pointed out, there's fish in all three stages. You got pre-spawners, spawners, and fish coming back out. Finding you a good point and pulling out a crankbait, would that be a good approach this weekend?
Yes, it can be won that way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, that's because there are already some of the spots we were fishing earlier today and that we will go to, I found some areas that I'm finding them coming and going. And so if you can find those fish, because we're it's the middle of March, but there's fish that spawned a month ago. And it's been so warm this year. The water temp right now is 71. I've seen it as high as 73 the last few days and the end of last week. So, when it gets 60, they're kind of starting to do their thing. And it was 60 a long time ago.
Yeah.
So, yes, if somebody wants to pull out a big plug and go throw it, then they could get right in 5 casts, just like you can any other time of the year. So that wouldn't surprise me. There will be some big fish caught on a crankbait. There will be not many people probably throwing it.
It can be won. It can be won that way. Yeah. And Ryan, you know this very well. I mean, you've talked about this. When the lake is down low like this, the fish will run up there and do their deal, and they're turning around. They're coming back out. There's not now. I say some of them. They're not hanging around because they don't have anywhere to hang around at because the lake is low. There's no bushes or things like that in the water. So them fish will turn around and get back out there in that 12 to 15 foot of water, even deeper, 15 to 18 foot of water. Not all of them. Majority of them is going to be up there on the flats and stuff. But there will be a group of fish, a big group of fish that somebody finds in that 15 to 18 foot of water, big jig, crankbait, and they will catch a good bag doing that as well.
No, they will. So that's exactly what's going to happen this year. Where it's so warm that a lot of that shoreline vegetation, that dollar weed, alligator weed, whatever you want to call it, it's starting to pop up in a few areas just in the last week or so. But I think, by the time it's very shallow too. But by the time it gets good and thick, to throw that frog or to throw that topwater around, the fish are going to be gone. The majority of them are going to do that. They're going to go to that first point. So, and Kevin, I love to throw a crankbait. That's what I like to do. If the lake does not come up, now I'm jumping way ahead, but let's just talk about it since we're talking about it. In the next month, everything's going to fish about a month early.
Yeah.
So May 1,
breaks your heart. Just breaks your heart.
I've been waiting for a year like this for a long time. I'm telling you, we're going to just stroke them on crankbaits this year if the lake doesn't jump up. Now, we may get 10 inches and the lake comes up 2 or 3 feet and it's going to ruin it. But if it stays like this, yes, here, when you get close to April, which it should be May, but when you get a little bit closer to April in the next 2 or 3 weeks, those fish are going to be out there on the edge of the creek or on those points already. Actually, we caught some a couple of days ago. We're doing that actually today. We're just not too far. I mean, instead of on the spawning flat, we're 150 yards up from the spawning flat.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we're doing it today, and we're catching both pre and post.
Yeah,
Okay.
and real quick, Stephen, my last one, here you go. But Brian, this is when I liked it. Like when the lake is like this for me this time of year. Now I'm a sight fishing guy, but everybody's on the bank, everybody's in the back of the box, all this. But now when the lake level is, I can get away from some boats because I can get on the outside of them flats, 15, 18 foot of water. I think the last time I actually fished the poche, which has now been 3-4 years ago, I had 24 and a half. We caught them cranking, which was the end of March.
Yeah.
We caught them cranking in like a 15, 18, foot points. But it gives people like us a chance to get away from the people on the bank, because you can, when the lake is at this level, you can catch fish from 20 foot to 2 inches. I mean, 6 inches of water.
No, you can. And the thing is, the people that don't feel comfortable or don't have electronics or just not familiar with it, don't get me wrong, you can still go down the bank and catch all the fish you want. They may not be many of them over 2 pounds, but you can still catch a lot of fish up down the bank, And so don't get me wrong, you can still do that. But we're talking about, tournament winning type fish. Yeah, you're going to have to get out there a little bit, off the bank. For example, we're in a creek right now, and I can see 6 boats, and we're the only one out in the middle of the creek. Everybody else is fishing the bank, and really haven't been looking, but hadn't seen anybody catch a fish. Really hadn't been close to anybody though. Sorry about the wind; it's kicked up. I don't know if that's interfering with anything.
No, you're good.
No,
like you said, it's going to either be a sight fishing deal, or it's going to be somebody that's back out there in that 8 to 15 feet of water this weekend, and more so the next weekend. It's going to be even more so. I think the same thing you said. I think me and Scooter fished the poche, or we fished one of them about 3 or 4 years ago. And it was about, the same time. And we had 18 or 19 pounds. And we caught them cranking in 12 to 15 foot of water. You know what I mean? I mean, we weren't out in the middle of the lake, but we were on structure, within 100, 200 yards of the bank. We caught them on, big crankbaits and Carolina rigs.
Yeah. Ryan, look, now I'm going to throw this out there. They're seeing a lot of crankbaits. They're seeing a lot of swim baits. They're seeing a lot of jigs. Is it too early to pull out that big worm yet?
No, I have not done it. I have thrown the smaller, like Texas rig worm around the outside edge of the grass, and that has worked phenomenal. And let me touch on that. If you do go down the lake and you're fishing in the grass, you're going to have to they're on the outside edge. I mean, there's kind of 2 edges, but they're on that outside in 6 to 12 feet of water, Carolina rig, long leader. They're not biting. If you're throwing that little 20, 24-inch leader, we learned the hard way, they're not biting it. You're going to have to throw the 30, 36-inch leader. That's just kind of what they want, but it's on the outside edge. So what you were saying, Steve, I have not thrown the big worm, but I have got reports from people throwing, like an old monster or the, big V&M worm on the outside edge of the grass and catching them very, very well. I have not done that yet. One thing that they are starting to bite that we have not talked about, and I've got 2 tied on here's topwater.
I was fixing to ask you about that, because you usually are catching them on topwater on your guide trips this time of year.
Yes. And so we started. I haven't thrown it until last week, and we got in a little stretch just because I hadn't seen anything that looked really good. And got in a little stretch of stuff, put a frog on, caught one on first cast, and had another bite a few casts later, and then I just put it down because that was all that looked good. So Friday or Saturday, the days are all running together. We got in an area and decided to pull out a little popar and popar style bait, a little small one, and caught a lot of fish on it. And they were nothing big, nothing over about. Well, we had some 3-pounders, but a lot of fish. And there's been a little bit of a whopper plopper bite, and of course, I'm going to throw the big spook, and I've got it tied on now. I haven't thrown it yet today, but with the cloud cover and the wind today, I will be throwing that spook quite a bit before the day's over. And it's going to work good this year, especially out there off. There's just nothing. And on some of these flats, you can throw that topwater out there around those stumps just like you would a spinnerbait or vibrating jig or something like that.
Yeah.
Last thing here, Ryan. predicting winning weight. No four-face sonar this weekend. What's your predictions to win the Despino?
How many do they usually have in it? Isn't it like 350 or something? Don't they have a lot?
275 is kind of what they've been
right
having.
At 300.
Okay.
Right at 300.
I think he was over last year, Steve. I want to say he was like 325.
He might have busted 300.
Last year, I think he was like 325 because Poche is pushing 300. Despino did like 325 last year.
Yeah.
I will say this. We didn't touch on it. The fishing, Kevin, we're in that middle of March where they get kind of funny.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's why the soft plastics is starting to work a little bit better. And you'll go one day and you'll stroke them. You'll go back the next doing the same thing or same area, and you won't get a bite because, they're female bass and they're kind of finicky. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And so
be careful now.
I know. But even with that, I still think you're going to see some high 20s.
Yeah.
This week, I just don't think we're going to see a 30. I hope we do. But I definitely think we'll see some 27 to 29. Yeah. That's what it's going to take. And honestly, that could come, I think that could come sight fishing or that could come cranking. Yeah. Either way, I think that's going to be, if you're going to win, you're going to throw, you're going to be out a little bit, probably cranking. You could still catch, they're still staging fish. My staging fish left about a week and a half ago out the deeper ones. But it's going to be that or sight fishing. But I think you're going to see
one of them
28.
sight fishermen is going to pull into the right pocket where the 10 or 11 of those big females just pulled in, and it's going to get right, and they can and it won't take long, because if you move into the right pocket that they just moved up the night before, they're going to bite. And it's happened to me before. We weighed in a 28-pound bag that was all sight fish, and the fish wasn't in there the day before. We just happened to go through there that morning. All of a sudden, look around. There's a 9 and 2/8 on the bed over here. It's going to happen this weekend. I really do. I really do think it'll be one sight fishing. I think, just because of the clarity of the water. Just because of the clarity of the water.
And even on the cloudy days and things, you can still see. It's so clear in some of these. Steve, there's pockets up here above the bridge that I've fished my whole life that the clarity's 12 inches on a good year. I can see the bottom in 3.5 feet.
Wow.
Yeah.
You can see. Oh yeah. You can see, and up above the bridge. And, fish in there, but you can see the bottom.
I guarantee you down there around Indian, you can see 6-7 foot deep. Like, see the bottom.
Yeah. Oh, I know you can. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can. They're housing. There's a few places. There's some dirtier water in 6 Mile, but there's some clear water in there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably how it'll be one, but it'll be high 20s.
Yeah.
Ryan, if somebody wants to go on a guide trip with you, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah. So what they can do is they can give me a call at 936 or message me at 936-591-1183. They can message me on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, or they can look me up on Google at Southern Waters Guide Service.
All right.
Good deal.
Ryan, we appreciate you, bud. Thank you, man. And great info. I'm telling you right now, folks, if you've tuned in today, make sure you let your buddies know, because that's about as good information you're going to get for a tournament. I'll promise you. Ryan, great job, bud.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, guys. See y'all later.
All right. Kevin, he freaking covered every angle, everything I could even think of on how to catch fish over at Toledo Bend right now.
And Steve, that's why we have him on every year before the Despino tournament, because Ryan, nobody breaks it down like Ryan, and he's not tournament fishing anymore. He is straight guiding. And he lays it all out there. How he's catching them, what he's catching them on, and he's not lying. He's telling the truth. That's how he catches them. So I was glad to hear, and I was fixing to ask the top water question, because I know he likes to catch them on top water this time of year. And Steve, that can also get right this weekend as well.
Yes, absolutely. And what I kind of wish we'd have got into, I wanted to know his philosophy on the moon. We're headed for a new moon, I believe, Tuesday night.
Right.
I don't know how many guys, a lot of guys like the new moon better than they do the full moon. Some guys think the fish pull up better, but anyway, there's that's another reason the fishing should be good this weekend, because 2 or 3 days before a full or new moon.
And we got a little cool snap, I believe, coming through Monday.
Yeah, we do. Temperature, I think the low's in the 40s.
Yeah.
But of course it warms up every day, but we'll have some cool nights I think they said this is the last cool snap we'll have for the season is going to be this coming Monday and Tuesday. So after that, we're headed for our typical spring and God forbid hot summers that we have here. Good gosh. I really do. I hate summertime. I hate it now. I don't know because of age or whatever, but I hate summertime. And but it's so long here. You know, I know up north they have long winters. Well, we have long summers. Whew, it can wear you out. But anyway, all right, we're going to take another quick break. We come back. We got lake reports. We're going to talk a little bit about the cheating scandal going on, and we got a few other things we're going to mention. So looking forward to having some of those conversations. You're watching Tackle Talk Live. We'll be right back.
The Lakes Insurance Agency is an independent insurance agency taking care of Texans' insurance needs for over 25 years, offering auto, homeowners, boat, RV, life, health, and commercial insurance. Owner Clark Moore is a local fishing guide and tournament angler who understands your insurance needs and wants to be your go-to guide for all your insurance needs. For a free quote, give him a call and see why so many Texans trust the Lake Insurance Agency. 2 locations to serve you in both Nacogdoches and Bravos, Texas, or give them a call at 936-205-4467. You're watching Tackle Talk Live, a show dedicated to making you a better angler. Now back to the guys with all the inside scoop, Kevin Jean and Steve Graff.
Welcome back to Tackle Talk Live. I'm Diver Pro staffer Steve Graff, along with Kevin Jean down there in South Louisiana. And this segment is sponsored by the Lakes Insurance of Nacogdoches. If you need health insurance or home, auto, health insurance, these guys can fix you up right there. 2 locations, one in Broadus and on the close to Sam Rayburn, and also in Nacogdoches. Toledo Health Clinic. Hey, not feeling good over there? You got a tournament going on and need a shot in the butt, need some steroids, or get a hook out of your hand, whatever. Those people will fix you up and they'll take care of you. Cypress Knee Outdoors, John Abraham and the gang down there pushing right now, especially Bobby Garland crappie jigs are selling like crazy down there. A lot of anglers in this region fishing for crappie on Sibley Lake, Cane River, Red River. They're catching them right now, as well as the bass fishing. Great selection of bass tackle, all top name brands. And from V&M to Zoom, you name it, they got it. Shimano, Kevin's down there. He's one of the guys with Shimano, does an awesome job with them. Power Implements Marine, located in Iowa, Louisiana. Kevin, if you come in there and you're looking to buy either a new boat or maybe just need some service work, how can you get a little discount?
All you got to do is mention you saw that they sponsor, or just mention, hey, I heard about you guys on Tackle Talk Live. Steve, you get $500 off the purchase of any new or used boat, or you'll get $50 off your service ticket just by mentioning, hey, I saw you guys on Tackle Talk Live.
Hey, good. It's worth mentioning then, all I can say. Also, Lost Frontier Park on Toledo Bend, right there across on Carice Creek on the Texas side. As soon as you cross Pendleton Bridge and Carice Creek, it's on your right. Great restaurant, great cabins, great RV park. Chase Collins and the family doing a wonderful job there, taking that thing back over and getting it back up in operating condition the way it should be, the way they left it the first time. And a lot of work going back into that. And they're looking to make more improvements there, looking to add a bait and tackle shop, looking to add a service store for not RVs, but for 4-wheelers, ATVs, motors, whatever. They're looking to do that as well. They got big plans there. And so, okay, Kev, Fisher's the man. We already did the results there. And Dick Polk wanted to remind them there's a big tournament coming up.
Yeah, so the Fisher's Men National Championship is March 27th through the 29th, I believe. Yeah. Hold on, let me clarify here before I get in trouble with mistake. 26th through the 28th.
Okay.
He said
Okay.
there'll roughly be about 180 teams from all over the country.
Yeah.
Now the Poche tournament will be on the 29th, and they'll cut that day, so all of those boats won't be on the water. He's actually hoping a lot of those boats come over and fish the Poche.
Yeah. Yeah.
The ones that don't qualify for day 3 there. So, yeah, another big tournament we got coming up. You know, Stephen, we've been talking about the Despino a lot because it's a big draw, but we also have the BFL this weekend it's on Sam Rayburn. It's on Sam Rayburn.
Yeah, coming up. Yes, that's right. This weekend. Also, real quick, and we kind of alluded to it earlier, Die Hard Bass Club had their tournament on Red River. And the reason why we're even talking about it, a lot of people have asked me, man, how's the river? How's the river? You know, a lot of people don't like the river. A lot of people love the river. Well, the river's getting better is all I'm going to tell you. It's finally coming back through the stocking program, Red River Waterway Commission. Thank you. You guys are doing a wonderful job of helping put fish back in 2, 3, and 4. Every year they're putting big stockings into all 3 of those pools, and it's been doing it for 5 to 7 years. It's starting to show up now. Trey Abear won this event with 18.42. Been a long time, Kevin, since it took 18 pounds to win on Red River.
And Steve, the impressive thing about this bag, and I say impressive, but it will show the quality of fish that's coming back to Red River. The big bass of this tournament was a 533. That was not Trey.
Right.
Now,
right.
I don't know if he had a 5 or not, but not having a 5.5 to 6 pounder with 18 pounds on the Red River, you've got quality fish in your bag. And I saw the picture he posted. He had several good quality, healthy fish. So, that
Bruce
bag's
Hernandez,
just not a big one and others to go with it. It's quality fish.
Young man, I know, say young man, he's an old man now like me, but Bruce Hernandez, Coach Bruce over at St. Mary's back in the day, he had a 5.33 for big fish. And Cody Beasley was second, a great angler. Cody, a great angler in his own right. He had 14.36. Billy Graves was third with 13.50. Bruce Fisher, 12.94. Sam Rocks, 12.30. Bruce Hernandez, 12.19. Archie Dore, an outstanding angler, 11.22. So, but anyway, this the Natchitoches Die Hard Bass Club, a really good club. They do very well, especially in that top 6 or whatever they're calling it now over there at Toledo Bend.
Elite 8.
Elite 8. And so they'll be one of the clubs to beat there. They're very good bunch of anglers out of that group. Okay. Kevin, our cheater. Here's what I've picked up is the cheater at the Lake Fork Lures tournament that was put on actually by the Seeley family, the Seeley Outdoors, Chris Bennett and Nicole Seeley, all that bunch, Nicole Bennett, they all put that on and did a wonderful job with it. A Willow Park man was arrested Sunday after Texas Parks and Wildlife officials said he attempted, and this is allegedly, attempted to cheat in a Lake Fork fishing tournament by altering the weights of bass. According to the authorities, Curtis Lee Daniels allegedly submitted a largemouth bass that was later found to contain 3 3/4 ounce fishing weights inside its stomach. Daniels was booked into the Wood County Jail and is being held on $20,000 bond on a charge of violating Texas fishing tournament regulations. The tournament carried a top prize of $11,500. If convicted of a 3rd-degree felony, Daniels could face up to 10 years in prison and a $10,000 fine, along with potential fishing license revocation or loss of fishing privileges and civil restitution, according to Texas Parks and Wildlife. Now, Kevin, Texas don't play with this.
No.
They're one of the states, I'm telling you right now, you get caught doing something in a bass tournament, cheating, they will drop the hammer on your tail. And I'm glad they're aggressive. I wish more states would get more aggressive towards this, because that's what's going to deter it. That's what's going to kind of put a stop to a lot of this, is states dropping the hammer on these guys and really making them pay a price. And here's the sad part, Kevin, he finished second in 2 hours. He would have won a total of $2,500. He won, it was $12.50 per hour that he was winning. And you putting fishing weights. I mean,
but Steve, because the prize package was over $10,000, it becomes a felony.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Not that he won that, but because of what could have been
potential.
won.
Yes.
So that's where it's going to get him. Yeah. I mean, you won 25. Are we, if you're that hard up, guys, that you got to try to cheat, to win, man, that's,
put up a GoFundMe page or something if you need some help. I mean, come on. Yeah. Why you got to cheat in a bass tournament? And again, weights in a fish. Look, you and I have fished enough, and I'm telling you, you can do it and I can do it. Somebody hold up a fish, that's a That's 2.5. He's maybe 2 3/4. We can get within 1/4 of a pound of what that sucker weighs. I get just by looking at him. And when people bring fish to scales and you drop them on there and they're like 3 pounds, that looks like 1.75 to 2 pounder. I mean,
but Steve, also to put weights in them, like you can feel, especially the size weights they're putting in these small fish.
Yes.
You can feel the weights in there.
I'm just like, I don't know. This one guy that posted on Facebook about him knows him personally. He said, man, I have no idea why he did it. He said he's just never been that kind of, I didn't think he was that kind of guy. But once again, I've always said this. When a guy like this gets caught, how long has he been doing it and just didn't get caught?
Right.
You know, especially on these Thursday night deals that we both have fished before in our local area. I've always wondered, is there somebody out here now? We all know 95% of the guys fishing. And I don't think any of our buddies would do that.
Right.
But there's always one guy. That's all it takes is one.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
And then then you got there's a bad name. Well, right there, Sibley Lake. They got the Tuesday, I forget what night, Tuesday or Thursday night dog fights on Sibley Lake right there where you're at.
Yeah.
That I fished for many, many years. And when I was in college fishing them, a guy got caught cheating to win them. Stevie got caught cheating, and he was winning about $200 a night.
Exactly.
You know, and that just put a big, a big black eye on. Yeah. And I love those little weekly night dog fights.
Yeah.
And
fish them all the time.
Puts a black eye on all of it. But you're talking, I mean, we're not talking about $10,000, $20,000 here, guys.
No.
You know, they got won $2,500 this past weekend. He had to cheat to do it.
Exactly. All right. Upcoming tournaments. Kevin, what we got? Go ahead and give a little rundown.
We got this weekend, Despino BFL. Next weekend, Bass Champs on Cedar Creek, North Texas. The Outlaw Outdoors Real United tournament is going. That's going to be a big tournament over on Rayburn next weekend, Steve. A very big tournament over there, the Real United tournament. And then the 22nd is the Outlaw Outdoors Average Joe tournament. That is the one that if you've won over such and such amount on Sam Rayburn this year, you're not allowed to enter that tournament.
Right.
So they do that once a year, the Average Joe, March 22nd.
And that's a Sunday.
That's a Sunday, yeah, because the Real United tournament is the 21st on Saturday. Average Joe's 22nd. The Poche, of course, is on the 28th, March 28th, along with the Fishermen is March 26th through 28th on Toledo Bend. So.
Yeah. And so a lot going on. I mean, like I said, if you're looking for something to fish, especially March, it's a great month, especially for benefit tournaments.
If you want to fish in March, you're fine.
Yeah. And if you want to fish a great tournament, the Spino, and if you want to fish another great tournament that both benefits the Dylan Kyle Poche, they don't get any better than those two events. I'm sorry. Randy Despino does a tremendous job, and the Poche family does another tremendous job with putting on their tournament to honor Dylan, and just absolutely can't say enough good things about both of those people and the money they raise and where that money goes to benefit certain groups or certain calls. You just can't beat them. So lake levels real quick. Toledo Bend's at 168.14. Right now it's 3.86 feet low. So I did have a 10-day gain of 1.08 inches, little water coming in on that north end. Sam Rayburn is at 155.53, same situation. It's 8.87 feet low. They have had a 10-day gain of also 1.08 inches. Again, water coming in on that north end. Lake of the Pines, 227.67 water level now. It's 2.33 feet low. Once again, I'll be heading over there in the next couple of weeks to be fishing for a tournament over there. They've had a 10-day gain of 0.72 inches. And on Lake Fork, 400.23 present level. It's 2.77 feet low. It is on the rise. They had 10-day gain of 2.16 inches.
So that 2.16, that's a good bit of rain. So we're going to have a lot of that coming down Toledo. Some of that water, that's rain they got in North Texas. Yes. It'll take a little while to get down to Sam Rayburn as well. That's a different river, but it comes from North Texas as well. So hopefully next week we'll continue to see gains along with the rain we're going to get the middle of the week.
Yep, that's right. Okay, what else you got?
Does it for me for this week, Steve.
All right, that's all I got.
Good.
Hey, we appreciate you tuning us in. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, however way you listen to a podcast. If you'd like to become a member of our sponsorship team, all you got to do is message us on our Facebook page. Kevin will make sure to send out a detailed packet to you ASAP. For Kevin Jean, yours truly, Steve Graff. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week with more Tackle Talk Live.